Hey folks, Justin Thayer, TeamThayer.com. I'm here with the youngest member of Team Thayer, the protege, Brandon Thayer, and then the all-knowledgeable, the amazing Emiliano. And today we're going to discuss basically what you need to do to hire the best real estate broker or listing broker, the person who's going to sell your home. And the first thing, and probably one of the most important things that you can do, is do your research, right? You can go to Google, and that is a great resource to find out which brokers are not just doing business, because selling a lot of homes under one name or one brand, if you will, has no bearing on whether that group as a whole or that group as an individual is going to put all the effort and energy into making sure you get your home sold, number one, and for the best price and terms possible to your benefit. So, talking about Google, man, I'm going to go refer to Emiliano here. Emiliano, very knowledgeable kid. How old are you, Emiliano? 10 years old. And do you use Google?
A lot.
Use it a lot. So if you want to find out if something's good, if it's a product or a toy or a game, if it's a good one or a bad one, what would you do probably first?
Go to Google and go to Yahoo, then search it.
Yeah, go to Google, search it, see what people are saying about it. Then he says secondary, we go to Yahoo and search that game or thing out there. And there's no difference between a real estate broker, really, and a toy. First, you're going to go to Google. And one of the things you're going to look for is how the person is received by the public. But one of the things that I think is most critical is how much advertising the person is doing, or that broker is doing, for an individual's home. Okay? Is there a lot, if there's a ton of advertising of individual homes, that is going to be representative on how he's going to advertise your home. And first and foremost, it's about marketing. So you're going to want to interview, really, in my opinion, you should interview no less than 3 people. Okay? A lot of times there will be people who will give referrals. Hey, my cousin's brother's uncle is a broker and you should use them. Probably not the best way to pick even who you're going to interview. You know, it's great to have referrals. Hey, you know what? My aunt, she's a great real estate broker. That's a great person to throw into the pot. Now, if you have a broker who has been doing business with you and your family for years and has a proven track record, you like them, you know, they get the job done, of course, I say go with them. But most of the time, that's not the case. The way people kind of switch and use different brokers over time tells me that people aren't particularly happy with the service they're getting a lot of the time, which is typical of what you would call the 80-20 rule of sales, which would mean that 20% of the real estate or success in real estate or any sales is, 80% of it is done by 20% of the individual brokers or salespeople. So, and I can just go to Brandon. Brandon's my protege. He's the youngest member of Team Thayer. He has been with me a while. Goes to open houses with me. Has really been, through osmosis, been involved in the business. I would say, Brandon, do you think that if you get a person who comes up to you and says, hey, use my niece, do you think that they should just go with them, or should they maybe interview 3-4 other people?
Well, see, they're telling you to go to somebody, so you should probably check out about that person before you actually use them.
Okay.
But it's better to interview them and 3 or 4 other people.
Exactly. And you know what? And this is coming in. Brandon, how old are you? 9 years old, 10 years old. You know what? You can kind of always go with the knowledge of the kids, I guess, when it comes to something super basic. And as adults, sometimes we forget about things that are just basic. You know, one thing that I can say from experience, as I've been in sales a long time, not just real estate, but I've been in, you know, heavy equipment sales, advertising sales. I've been in advertising school, in car sales, and what I can say is there is a huge difference between that individual salespeople, right? It doesn't matter if you're selling encyclopedias or you're selling real estate. There is the 80-20 rule still applies. You really want to look for 20% of the populace of the professional you're trying to hire to sell your product to get the biggest effect, right? It's really important that you find the best person to sell that particular product, because especially in real estate, because even a 9 and 10-year-old can tell you, okay, there is a huge amount of money that is tied up in people's real estate purchases. I can go to these boys and I can ask Brandon, what would be bigger than the sale of a home in a person's life?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You have to live in that home. This is your workshop. This is where you make your dreams come true.
It's where you make your dreams come true. That's where you live your life, is what you're trying to say, right? And Emiliano, he's a smart kid, one of the smartest kids I know. His parents are homeowners. Emiliano, when it comes to buying your house, what do you think? Do you think your dad, when he talks about your home, is that important? Is there anything more important than when you bought your home? Do you feel? Did you guys bought it recently?
Yeah. That's the most important thing that we've bought.
So far, right? What about cars?
Second.
Second? So cars is second. Hey guys, this is 9 and 10-year-olds.
Actually, I can't choose between cars or a house because you can still sleep in a car.
But you need a place to live.
Yeah.
You can still sleep in a car. Smart kid. Of course, we all know that cars, what happens to cars?
Aren't that roomy?
They go down in value.
They rust, rot, and depreciate. Cars go down in value.
Houses always go up.
Houses, over time, always go up. We all know that markets crash, but over time,
I have
houses.
one question.
Yes.
What do you think is more important, animals, like our dogs, or the car?
Well, in my opinion, that would be probably, of course, the animals. Because I love our puppies. but the bottom line is this. When it comes to picking the person who's going to help you with the biggest investment in your life, monetarily, that will affect you for the rest of your life, you really need to focus and choose the person with basically the best person you can find. I say this, always interview at least 3 brokers or realtors, whatever you want to call them. Always interview at least 3. If you have somebody who's done a great job, okay, if you have somebody who is already, you're proving your person, your guy, hey, you know what? You can go ahead and just cut the fat. You don't need to improve on what already is great. However, if there's any question on whether that person is the best, go ahead and don't cast them aside, but stack them up against the best. And really try to find out who the best in your market area is. Brandon, you got a question?
Yeah, what if there's a marriage and one, the male, chooses one of the top brokers and a female chooses another one of the tops?
Well, Brandon, that is actually a super good question. And this is like, folks, this is not staged. That happens. Matter of fact, it happened to me more recently. I guess that actually happens, and it happens quite a bit. You know what? I guess what I would do in that situation is interview both people, and that husband and wife, would really have to determine how to choose the best realtor. But what that husband and wife or that couple would have to do is put emotions aside and go back to facts based on technology, based on communication, based on all these factors. And what happens a lot is when people hire real estate brokers or anybody who's in charge of things that can really change their lives or manipulate their future finances, is people tend to think on emotion, right? People do tend to think on emotion, and they seem to lose, especially when it comes to a husband and a wife or somebody who's emotionally involved already. People tend to you have to remember, both parties have to remember, are we thinking logically about the decision we're making, right? Let's go on. Okay, you do have to like the broker you're hiring. It's a lot easier. But first and foremost, is that broker effective? Is their advertising effective? Are they technologically advanced? Can they provide you with the numbers, the background, the advertising strength, right? Can they prove that to you without a reasonable doubt? You would not judge, if you were on a jury, on a murder trial, how would you judge the evidence? Of course, everybody knows that they would never judge it based on their emotions, but based on the facts. And basically, it's the same thing. You'd want to come into it and put your emotions aside. Okay? And this is something I've dealt with very recently, where a husband wanted to go with broker X, and the wife wanted to go with myself. And I had to kind of stand back and say, you know what? I don't want to force anybody into anything, but let's make sure we have the facts in line to present, to your husband in this case. Say, you know what? I say, don't hire me. I'm going to be the guy that says, do not hire me unless out of all the evidence that has been presented, and out of my track record, out of my advertising, out of my specialization in this field, out of those categories, if I'm the best and you feel like I'm going to make you the money, is that the factor you're looking for? Number one, if I'm going to give you a benefit to selling your house, then use me. If I'm not going to give you a benefit, then don't. However, if it's more important, if this is a family friend or a relative, keep in mind, and I will say this, if it is more important that you use a relative to keep your family together than it is using myself, I say, don't break your family up over myself. Go with the relative, right? Because first and foremost, myself, as a professional broker licensed under the state of Oregon, have a fiduciary responsibility to put my clients over and above. You alright, buddy?
Yeah. Smart on the sword. I don't know that.
Alright. To put my clients over and above the interest of myself. So, hey, if it's just a matter of, hey, it will cause a huge problem within the family not to use broker A over myself, right? I'm saying, you know what, if that's more important to you, than the monetary value that I would bring to the table, I say use broker A. So that answers that question. So we're going to wrap it up with my man Emiliano. My boy Brandon, he's coming back through. Awesome question, buddy.
Thank you.
So, there's a lot of things to chew on. And you know what? Life is not simple, boys, is it? It's not black and white. It's not cut and dry. It's not choose A or choose B.
The mind is complicated.
The mind is complicated. Society is complicated. There's shades of gray. Okay? Everybody wants like the top 5 reasons to do this, or choose A or choose B. But this is reality. This is real life. Choose the broker that is best for you in your situation. Okay? Most of the time, your situation is going to be getting the most money with the best terms in the shortest amount of time. Right? Within that, sometimes there are other parameters or ramifications that have to do with hiring a broker. And you take everything into account. What you really want to avoid in this business is brokers buying a listing. What buying a listing is, I can sell it for this. And the goal of this broker is one thing. The goal of this broker is to put a sign in the yard, get a picture in a magazine to get buyers to call, because once the buyer calls and sees that, oh my goodness, this house is not what I wanted, the square footage isn't right, it's way overpriced, that broker doesn't lose anything. They gain a client. Hey, well, let me show you this house over here. They can show them any house basically in their state where they're licensed to work. Horrible practice. You have this fiduciary responsibility to these clients, but when it comes to buying listings, it's see me here we will speak well, no bull crap. It's crap. And you know what? I can go to 9 and 10-year-olds and they can tell you, do you guys think that's right? If somebody tells you they think they can sell your house or they can sell your house for a certain amount of money, but they know they can't, just to stick a sign in your yard and then sell these clients other houses, is that fair?
No, it's not.
Would you guys play a game? Whether it's Monopoly or whatever, would you guys play a game where that was one of the rules?
No.
Of course you wouldn't. Would you play a game? Would you be like, I like that game if that was a rule?
No. I would probably lose every time.
You wouldn't play the game.
No, I
I'll
would
lose
throw
on
the board out the
purpose.
window.
You throw the card out the window.
So
And
that isn't fair.
it's not fair. And that is exactly what happens. There's a lot of brokers who aren't going to like this. I'm going to get some heat for this video. Guys, when it comes to this stuff, I'm 100% real. I'm 100% honest. Listen, if you think I'm a genius, comment below. Tell me I'm awesome. If you think I'm an idiot, comment below I'm an idiot. You can do it anonymously. There's a red button up there. Click it. Subscribe to my channel. TeamThayer.com for my man Emiliano, smart kid. My protege Brandon Thayer. Justin Thayer, TeamThayer.com. Be smart when you're hiring your broker. Thank you. See you next time.